Good evening, everybody. My name is Shirley. I'm going to tell y'all a little bit of my story as growing up as a child. Then I'm going to break down to why I got involved with Export Prison Organization. Okay, as a child coming up, I came around a family that was always fighting. And it brought a lot of anger because I seen my grandparents and my uncles and aunties now I'm out there fighting all the time and had contact with the police a lot. So as we was going up, it brought a lot of anger, and then it went to the next generation with the violence and crime. Until this day, it brought a lot of anger in me, and my anger caused me to get in trouble. I lashed out at the wrong person when my son had caught a case, and it took them 2 weeks before they came and got me from Reformation Lutheran Church. And at the time, I didn't know what they was talking about, what they was doing, say tampering with a witness. I ain't know nothing about that. So they said, we're going to take you and talk to you, and we're going to ask you some questions. So after that, they took me to some little hallway going down the hill, told me to untie my shoestrings and everything, and took me to the county jail and said, well, you going to sit for a minute. So I sat downtown for like 60 days before I had contact with anybody, didn't know what was going on. So after that happened, I wound up going to MSDF. And I sat in there for 90 days, and it had me real depressed. It had me suicidal because I was in there with 3 women, and they was in a boat, and it was uncomfortable because you ain't had no air, poor medical. You say anything, they want to slam you through the other doors, and I got locked up because I missed 1 day of anger management. I had a doctor appointment that day, and she said, no, I'm going to lock you up for 90 days. And it had me, like, homeless. I didn't have nowhere to go. I couldn't have contact with none of my family. I couldn't have contact with my grandkids or my son. The 2 years that I was on probation, it was like I was on a study wall, like a shield, that I was scared and I was in a lot of fear. But I had to really stay prayed up and give it to God and then give up my hopes because I know it was another way through a door. And it been 9 years since I never had no trouble with the law. And I say I'm going to fight for justice for women because a lot of women out here can't get their life together when they don't have nowhere to go or no housing. Especially when you got kids, it's kind of hard for you. And it make you keep a lot of anger, and it make you depressed, and make you suicide, and make you sad. So how would the help's going to come in if you won't give them the help? It's just so much going on with the system, and it is sad. Then to me, it make me feel like I'm still in prison because I got a son in there and I got family members that's still in prison, and it made me feel like I'm in prison with them, and it's still upsetting and depressing. You know, it's just there, and I've been trying to stay more humble to help fight with the system and the justice because of the way it's working, and I've been struggling with that.
Thank you.